half dozen different projects at any given time. I'm the audio lead and also the day-to-day integration for this project. Gunslinger is a little different than most of our projects. We do a lot of DoD-funded, short-term projects, prototypes, social site research, human-computer interaction. Gunslinger is where we bring a lot of that back-end technology and research together, and so it's an internally funded project. We set our own timeline and our own money so that we could sort of try out our own cool ideas. When we do, say, a DoD project, or like you just saw a lead for the Army, that's on a limited time frame with limited resources. That doesn't mean we're crazy with Gunslinger. It's actually cheaper to get a Wild West saloon built than you would think. But it does mean that we can set our own timeline. And so if we have an idea, instead of saying, well, you know, for this project it's not quite going to work out, we can say, well, what are other projects doing and what do they want to do? And maybe we can look at that. So if it's anything from integration with a new engine, or just locomotion in virtual humans, or, you know, storytelling techniques, we can spend some time to sort of make something new and try out something cool. This project's been running for about 3.5, 4 years now, I think, in January. And this is the fourth revision, major revision of Gunslinger, and our second one was Cowboy Saloon. We'll get into all that in a minute. A little technical detail. I'm going to play the Ranger for this. What we do is we shove people in here with a hat and an empty holster and give them very little backstory. We tell them we're looking for this guy, Rio Lane, and then let them loose. Usually 8 to 10 minutes later, they come out cursing and throwing things, and we think we've done a good job. So in the interest of time and various other things, I'll take us through the first couple minutes, and then we'll talk. Let me skip ahead, actually. There's a little bit of an intro. I'm just going to skip right to where they see me.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Looking for someone, or you just passing through?
Just passing through.
Just passing through, huh? Well, that's probably a good thing. I want to do that post haste.
Why's that?
Well, I don't want no trouble in my bar around here, but a lot of people wouldn't mind seeing Rio Lane go west, preferably at all horizontal line, if you catch my drift.
What's your name?
My name is Utah.
Great. Utah, do you know Rio?
Rio never misses his 5 o'clock drink. He'll be here soon.
What time is it now?
It's almost 5 o'clock.
Who's that woman over there?
That's Harmony. You can be counted.
Harmony, do you know Rio?
Well, help yourself to any drink you
And the
want.
dangers of
We'll
ASMR.
settle up before you leave.
Harmony, do you know Rio?
Rio will be here soon, Ranger.
Harmony, how'd you get here?
I recommend a whiskey, Ranger.
He's gonna push whiskey on me, but I'll tell you why in a minute. Do you have a gun I can borrow? I broke mine.
Well, you could get a drink and wait for Rio.
No, I need a gun.
Better be drinking whiskey than beer here, Ranger.
Really wants me to get drunk. It's not normal. Usually he's a little more responsible.
Let's keep quiet, Harmony. He's a coming.
Oh no, he's here.
Ranger, you rotten malapago. Where's my money? Oh, I like my man. Utah,
Yes, Mr. Lane?
congratulations on your retirement.
What do you mean? I'm not retiring.
Well, you better start, because I'm taking over your business. Load your corn juice and cash onto the wagon. Now.
Drop your gun, Rio.
I see you have a sense of humor. I like that in people I'm about to kill.
I'm not kidding around. Put it away.
Fresh meat.
I'm gonna shoot you.
You and what on me?
You know what? Maybe we got off on the wrong foot. Can I buy you a drink?
Tough talk will only get you so far, Ranger.
Well, that's just like your opinion.
Shut up, you idiot.
Don't call me an
Don't
idiot.
interrupt me, city boy.
Ranger's dead.
Well, of course he is. I shot him. That sod farmer's found that wood with the dirt. Hell, his dying words should have been, thank you, Leah.
He left behind his wife and daughters.
Get packed, Harmony. We're going to Wichita. Tell his ghost
It's always Wichita.
It happened on San
You talking back to me? Get packed. It's what
I'm
you-
talking back to you.
Quiet, you idiot.
That's the
Get
last
packed.
of you. He'll call me an idiot all day, but thankfully I have the iPad that runs it, so. As you saw, there's a bit of ASR weirdness there, but that's something we expect because this system is fundamentally honest, which is sort of a weird thing to say because we're also cheating endlessly in Gunslinger. It's a mix of very straightforward tech and more subtle manipulation of what the Ranger does. So as I said, we've been working on this for about 4 years, and we've come up with a few different techniques that we can share with other projects. Some of them are technological. For example, this is Unity. We used to run Gamebryo, and the Institute licenses and changes to new engines, new technologies. We do a lot of the back-end integration. So the animation system, Smart Body, was built in-house at ICT as a research project. And so now it's a distributed middleware that works with a couple different engines, but also has a lot of capabilities for animating with humans, whether it's for research or animation or whatever. On the other hand, the back-end natural language system is ICT just a pure research project that was just expanded to be used for characters like this. Between the three of them, the characters have about 800 lines of dialogue, 750, somewhere in there. But they have about 10,000 lines that they've heard before, and they always, whenever they hear something through the ASR, it recognizes, classifies, and then figures out roughly what you've said. Every time we run it, we get some new piece of dialogue we've never seen before. But we do our best to try to fill in with what we get. I'm always driven nuts by it, because if it's not perfect, I'm like, oh, I know you have a better line than that, Harmony. Or Rio, that's just totally the right thing to say, which is not what he's supposed to do. But a lot of people come in and they don't listen to the characters, because we're also cheating, as I said, endlessly. Gunslinger is designed to manipulate people's psychological state in very unfriendly ways, let's say. We keep it dark in here so that people don't see sort of the seams. They don't see the 4 cameras overhead that are tracking every movement through the hat and through the gun. They don't see the other cameras hidden in the bar that are filming them constantly and that we're taping. We actually, when we first built this, it was a 3-walled saloon. Sort of that entire corner was just gone. And we would stand outside with notes and watch people do it. They would just be like, hey, how are you, miss? It didn't work. So we sealed it in and just don't tell people that we're recording them, and we get, how shall we say, a better performance. Because this is a drama. It's basically a 5-minute short film in which the most important character is the only one who doesn't have the script. And so we manipulate the Ranger endlessly. We manipulate where people stand by the way we light the saloon and where we put the furniture. We manipulate what they say by asking them questions they know the answer to. That first line, Utah asks, are you looking for someone, or are you just passing through? What we tell people, you're looking for Rio Lane, he's very bad, here's a gun. And they fill in the blanks, which usually results in, as I said, them coming out cursing, going, run it again, I can get him this time. Because we made Rio very slow for a human, but compared to the average person, pretty fast. You can say whatever you want to Utah, though. You can say, I want a whiskey, or I'm looking for Rio, which is what most people say. Or what do you think about, Cardinal's going to pull it out in 7, and they're like, he has a good excuse for not knowing. That's why he'll always encourage me to have a whiskey, if worse comes to worse. Because if we've got people standing here, they're not looking when Rio comes in. That's why we split the characters up across 180 degrees. We do move Harmony around. When we want you to look at stuff, we let you know very clearly where we want you to look. But we do it by playing a loud noise in the direction we want you to look, and it works perfectly. We actually used to cheat that a little more. We were having some trouble getting the characters to walk between the screens because we were having some trouble with the locomotion, because it was obviously Smart Body's a research tool. So we would play a loud noise over here and then teleport Utah out, and that no one would see it. We'd be like, did you notice anything weird? No. Doesn't work when you're doing a demo, though, because if I'm standing here looking like this, you're all looking at me, looking at him, disappear and then reappear over there, which is very obvious. And also because we didn't want to do anything that would, on the surface, look like it would work. And so that's why we're constantly manipulating the armor and re-engineering Gunslinger. We're always making new changes. This build is actually from last night, so I tested it pretty heavily. We'll see what happens. Because we know that if you just make a static demo, it'll sit for 6 months or a year. And that's not what we want to do. We want to try new things, develop new tech, and then distribute that both within the ICT and without. I have probably constantly for 5 minutes. Anybody have any questions so far?